Happy Monday. Every Monday I'm here at 8:30 in the morning for those that are in Europe. And obviously, if you're not in Europe, you probably might be asleep, but you can see my life in the replay afterwards. So here we go. Why do I do this? Remember, I do this because I want to give you value. I want to help you with very little things that you can already change, so that you can actually take another step in your life and move forward. And I have done this a whole bunch of times in my life, and I realized that with all the experiences and the things that I've been doing, it's one of the ways that I want to share this with others. And obviously, you can take take advantages of the things that I've been learning and that I've went through, because you always live something before that you do it. But I also get lessons out of it. And today I want to talk about why or how you can actually stop overthinking. I notice that a lot of people have that issue, is that they're overthinking. And thinking is putting thoughts in your head, and overthinking is when you double them, triple them, 10x them. And in this case, it might not always be a good thing to do. So you might want to see and listen with me today how you can stop doing that and actually take faster decisions. Because when you're a business owner, solopreneur, entrepreneur, doesn't matter. But when you are somebody that is building a business and you have a lot of decisions to take, I made a post of that yesterday as well, about the fact that I'm a single mom, and as a single mom, you have to take a lot of decisions all by yourself. And when you overthink things too much, you might not end up taking any decisions. And one of the things that I noticed for myself, I wanted to become a coach in 2015. And imagine, I started looking out for things, like what did I need to do for the taxes? How did I need to start a business? How did I had to subscribe for network events? What kind of people did I need to get in touch with? So that was a good part. But then after that, I started thinking it over and over. But what if? What if I do this and I'm not earning enough money? What if I do this and people don't actually like what I'm saying? What if? And the what if actually took me about 7 years after burnout. Before that, I really took a decision to get for it and do it. So imagine how much energy that went through those 7 years. And I can tell you, I went through things that I could have avoided if I had taken that decision a lot faster. So I think it's an important topic that I might help you with, and that I hope that you can take some tips with you so that you can take that as a next step for yourself. So again, think for yourself first, what is it that you do when you overthink? Are you procrastinating so that you're taking little actions that you feel are making you productive? Or are you actually avoiding things? So you put them or you push them to the next day or the day after. Every time you have to start thinking or doing the things that you have been putting yourself to do and you don't, well, that means that you're like avoiding them. So what is it that you do? Because you have to be conscious about that. It's only when you're conscious about that that you actually start realizing that there is something that you need to do about it. And I think, an expert in overthinking. I have done this so many times. And now that I know what I need to do to try to avoid this, I'm not saying I do it 100% of the time, but if I have to be honest, I think I should be at 85% of the time that I can really avoid overthinking. When I still do it, it really is because I'm not willing to take a decision at that time. And I realize as well that it drains my energy. So when I do realize it, I really decide that I have to take a decision much faster. So let me go through the 4 points that I do when I have this coming up and that I try to avoid. So if you are listening to me or watching me and you want to share in the chat if you're overthinking as well, and maybe that one point that you're doing when you're overthinking, that can help me as well to answer some of the questions. And even if it's in the replay afterwards, I can still get back to you with my answers. So the first thing that I do is that I actually take time out of the equation. What does that mean? I'm taking out of my system. When I have too much time, I have too much time to think and to overthink. And when time becomes an asset and not a liability, it means that I take it as, something that you cannot, you take advantage of time. Because I hear a lot of people saying as well, I don't have time, I don't have time. And very often those people don't even know how many hours they have in a week. But the time that you have, you should shorten it. Make it as small and short as you can and give yourself a deadline. And so when you know that a decision is difficult, there is a lot of money involved, there is, a lot of people that might be involved in it as well. And you're giving yourself like 2 days to think about it, then you give yourself those 2 days. But after those 2 days, you have to commit to yourself that you're going to take a decision. If, for example, you have a task to do that needs to be done today, and I'm just thinking of like yesterday, I knew that I had to make this live today, and I have set a whole list of topics that I can go through. But when I start overthinking one of the topics, I might avoid it and I might say, maybe, maybe I don't want to do it tomorrow, which I have decided not to do. And this is actually helping me as well to be consistent. So I have something in my agenda. I promise my audience and myself that I will be there at 8:30 in the morning. So there is I don't have time to overthink. I have the topic. I looked at it last night. I started preparing it. And in half an hour, I had it done because I had only that time to do it. And if I had half a day to do it, I probably would have spent half a day going through it and thinking it over and working on it even more. Because what we want most of the time in this case is that we want perfection. In my case, when I do a live, obviously I exposing myself. I exposing myself with my weaknesses as well. I speak English, but I'm not perfectly English speaking. So there are sometimes words that I don't pronounce well or that I have on my paper because I remember them at that time. But when I have to speak them out, I forget about them because I don't have a whole script that I'm reading here. I'm talking from, my experience, from my gut feeling, from what I know. But the thing is, though, that, if I'm waiting that this becomes perfect, I probably wouldn't do it. And if I'm thinking too much about people criticizing me for what I'm doing or looking at me and pointing the finger, then probably I wouldn't do it. So that's another thing. Time is one thing. Take it out of the equation. Make yourself a deadline. Make it a realistic deadline. Don't make it too long because otherwise you will be starting to overthink and you will end up not doing it. So keep that time as short as possible. And then you can actually start doing the other stuff. And so one of the other things that I believe has helped me as well is decide actually on why it is important for you to do that. Okay. So if you have a decision to make, is that decision going to help you again to realize what you need to realize? If the answer is yes every time, then just start doing it. I think thinking is one thing, but writing is another thing. So when you write something, it helps a lot to get out of your mind. And I might have already told this in the past for another example, and I'm giving it here again as one of the examples that I think really helps to do this. It's to write down things in 20 minutes without stopping writing. So when you write everything down, it will be giving you the occasion to think through things, but also to feel through what you're thinking. And once that you have written everything down, afterwards you can look back at it and see what are the most important points that you wrote down, because those are probably the things that you've been writing down a little bit more often than the others. And that is going to help you to take the decision. If you start with the question, I want to write down what can help me to take a decision or what it is that I need to decide on, then you probably will be in a better position to do that. Just try it. Set yourself down for 20 minutes. It's better than to overthink things for 2 or 3 days, right? You can also ask yourself the question, what can happen, or what is the worst thing that can happen if I do this overthinking, or if I take that decision? Because it always comes back to taking a decision. You only overthink when you have to take a decision or you have to move forward for something. So what is that one worst thing that can happen if you don't take that decision? Very often, it might be that you're overthinking for something that is not that bad. It's not going to be a bad thing if you take a decision at that point in time. You know, I built an extension to my house, and also this one I have been overthinking for so long. And once it was there, I was like, why did I think so long about this? This was an no-brainer. I should have done this much faster, and it would have less drained my energy. Because the fact that I wasn't taking a decision on it, it was, being in my mind all the time. And that brings me to the second point, the fourth point. So I wrote down my points. I didn't write down what I was going to tell in them, but the fourth point is actually that you have to work in cycles. So when you start something and you have an idea and you don't close the cycle to that decision or to the action, you will be thinking about it over and over and over. So imagine that you have a big cupboard with almost everywhere you have drawers, and every time you have a thought, you open the drawer, and the drawer is there and you don't close it because it's still open and you haven't taken a decision. In the meantime, you're opening another drawer, and that other drawer is also requiring you to look into it and to do something with it, but you don't. So then you open another drawer and another drawer, and all those drawers stay open. It's chaos, and you're not like taking the cycles to the end. It's like, I give this as a really simple example because it helps people to think about it. When you go and have dinner and you leave your dishes on the table and you tell yourself, I'll do this later, every time that you pass to it, you will see those dishes on the table. And even if you're not deciding to do the action at that point, it remains in your mind. It's there, it's busy, it's making you feel like, okay, I still need to do that. I'll do this later. I don't have time now. I will do this later. But imagine you do this for so many other actions. Your mind is like going crazy at one point, and it's draining your energy. And your energy is the capital one thing, the biggest asset that you have to really build a strong life, a life like you like, and a business that is giving you results, right? So what can you do to close the cycle? If you don't have the possibility of doing it at the time that you're actually thinking about it or you have started with it, then write it again on a paper, the task that you need to do. I know that people work also on a computer. I like to still have it visibly on a paper. The task that you still need to do, and put behind that, like we said earlier, the deadline that you want to give it. And there are small actions that you don't even have to write on the paper. You just close the cycle. By having that thought in my, it's the thought that I'm using. Can I close this cycle right away? Yes, I can. Okay, then I'm doing it. I gave, for example, I've done this many times now. It's when I launch a new product or a new service, something that I feel is, is going to help my clients. I actually don't wait anymore to build it and make it perfect. I announce it immediately in one of my newsletters, in a live, on a story. It doesn't matter. I announce it, and I give it a deadline already in what I announce. So when I launched the Yes Academy, for example, I did this 3 weeks before that I actually launched it. And I told myself, I'm going to have a webinar. In that webinar, I will be selling the Yes Academy. I will start communicating it on my posts. I will start talking to people about it in my DMs. And I didn't have a possibility to take a step back. It had to happen. And I didn't have to actually overthinking, because once that I launched it, once that I talked about it, the creativity started coming. And I actually could close the cycle as soon as I had my group of participants, which happened because I had the intention set down. So just as a recap for today, when you are someone that is overthinking, and I do this with my clients as well, that's why I have my weekly calls with those that are doing the individual coaching on a year basis. Every week, I look at them. What is that 1 or 2 actions that will bring you forward to your goals next week? Okay, by when do you do this? Send me a message when you have done it. It gives them actually that feeling somebody is helping them to take a decision, to close the cycle, and to basically as well reduce the time. So that's already 3 points that I was saying about the 4. And so limit your time. Make sure that you put yourself a deadline. Think about closing the cycle. Make sure that you're not going for perfection, but that you take the idea and that you put it out there. And make sure that you think and ask yourself the question, what is the worst thing that can happen if I'm not taking that decision, or if I would take that decision? With those 4 points, you should have a good base to stop overthinking and taking action right away. So what is that one thing that you will close the cycle with today? How many cycles haven't you closed? Maybe you can make a list of all those and then start ticking the box. Okay, that one will take me 5 minutes. I do it right away. That one will take me half a day. Okay, I can plan this in my calendar for then. That one, and you go on and on and on like that. So again, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help those that want to be serious about their business, that really want to step up. And if overthinking is one of your issues, then definitely something that you can be helped with on a daily and weekly basis with me, because even if it's weekly or calls, on a daily basis, I can help you as well. I have one of those clients that told me, Dominique, help me please every day. So every day she sends me a WhatsApp with the 3 priorities that she has for that day. And end of the day, she checks it off. If that can help, I'm there to listen and to challenge you as well on this. But close the cycles, all right? Reduce your time. Make sure that you ask yourself the right questions. Do the 20-minute exercise if that feels is something that can help you, all right? So have a great week. Have a great day. And make sure that you don't overthink things. Just start doing them, all right? Talk to you soon. Bye.